As we live our lives, we follow a journey that defines our own identity. There are many factors that help us become who we are. We develop our own personality by factors like genetics, family relationships, and even, and perhaps most influential, the place in which we are born. For example, in my own case, I was born in Mexico City, one of the most influential and culturally rich cities in Mexico. Being born in Mexico City means that our way of life is a bit chaotic, but also beautiful. We have an immense heritage, having parts of the city that keep the remains of Hispanic cultures. We also have parts of the city that reminds us of our own Hispanic heritage, from the times where Mexico was a colony of Spain. We also have parts of the city that reminds us of our own Hispanic heritage, from the times where Mexico was a colony of Spain. We also have And then there is the modern Mexico. We build and have evolved at the same rhythm of our society, following all kinds of architectural styles, implementing the modern technologies with our own sense of identity and culture. And then there is the modern Mexico. We build and have evolved at the same rhythm of our society, following all kinds of architectural styles, implementing the modern technologies with our own sense of identity and we are the descendants of a mix of cultures that had heritage and created their own traditions. Even now, living in Mexico City for me represents having a bit of every characteristic that being Mexican represents. In Mexico City, we tend to share traditions with other parts of the country, like Independence Day or Dia de Muertos. Perhaps there are some costumes that we may not know, and some that are our own. But most of them are traditions that we carry as Mexicans. We also tend to share our culture with other people that may not know it. And I believe that we value a lot the traditions of our ancestors. Mexico City is well known for its variety of art. Our society has evolved, so has the art, leading expressions from the muralist movements to other international movements like surrealism and other styles of modern art. I find very interesting that Mexico City has valuable pieces from art from the pre-Hispanic era to modern art, leaving us to city with expressions from different eras. We find in art a way to express the characteristics of life at a certain time. Through this, we communicate to other people what we perceive as daily life. We can now see how other people lived in the same city, and also how we are living in the city nowadays. Having also experiences that include how the global context has influence in our own context. Another key factor in order to understand the identity of Mexico City is the food. I believe that every person who has lived in Mexico City recognizes the rich variety that the city has in food. I believe that this is the most notorious part of our identity, and I say so because many of us have memories related to food. I also believe that food in here is proof of the variety of heritage that we have, since we eat food from every part of the country in here. We also enjoy trying food from other nations. Most important, we have food that act as a reminder of the feeling the city gives, like a late night skite or a tamal for breakfast. Every person has his own personality, but I believe that by living in Mexico City, we have something in common. We are able to live in a cultural rich city that reminds us of the importance of diversity in our modern society. We have a lot in common with other cities of the country, and at the same time, we have our own characteristics and traditions that we may not share with other cities. I believe that by living the city, we can learn how important it is to appreciate our own identity. Also, the people who live in the Mexico City have pride in where we come from. We also value our traditions, and also I believe that people in here are very open and pleased to learn from other cultures.